In this video, I'll demonstrate how to create an infographic based on the results of my data analysis on the impact of email. To create the infographic, I'll be using Canva, which is an online design tool that's provided for free with some limitations. First, I'll go to canva.com and log in using my Google account. Canva has lots of design templates to choose from. To get started, I'll click on Templates, and then I'll select Infographics. You can also use Canva's search bar to look for templates, or you can start with a blank canvas if you prefer. So I'll start browsing through the infographic templates until I find one that seems like a good fit for the information that I want to communicate. So you can see here that I've selected a template that shows the importance of literacy. I'm going to make changes to this template based on the results of my data analysis on the impact of email. First, I'll change the name of my graphic so that I can easily find it later. I'll rename it to Impact of Email by clicking on the title. Next, I'll change the heading to be my impact question or statement. So I'll double-click on the heading text to select it, and I'll change it to the impact of email on society. I can use the toolbar to change the font style, size, and color. But for now, I'm just going to reduce the size a bit so that it only appears on 2 lines. Next, instead of this house graphic, I want to add a graphic that represents my topic of email. So I'll click on the house to select it, and I'll click the delete icon that appears above it to remove it. Then I'll click on the elements from the design tools, and I'll search for email to find elements related to my topic. I'll click See All to expand my view, and you can see there are quite a few options to choose from. Notice there's a crown icon next to some of the elements. This means that those are premium items that can't be used with a free account. Since I'm using a free account, I'll be sure to select only the items without the crown icon. So I'll click on the graphic to add it to my canvas, and then I'll click and drag the graphic to move it. I'll also resize the graphic by clicking on a corner of the bounding box and adjusting the size. Now I'd like to add a sentence describing what email is for those who are not aware. I'll double-click the text below my graphic to edit it, and I'll replace it with my description. I don't need these other graphics and text, so I'll go ahead and delete those. And now I'll reposition the text and make it larger and bold so that it's easier to read. I'll further adjust the position of my graphic and text until I'm happy with how it looks. Next, I'd like to include some results from my data analysis that show that email has had a positive impact on society, and I'll support it with a statistic from my data. I'll click on this heading to change it, but you can see that when I click it, it's grouped with the text below. I'll go ahead and ungroup so that I can adjust their positions as necessary. I'll change the heading to Positive Impact, and I'll change the text below to reference my survey. Now I want to add my supporting statistic on the side here. So I'll delete the icon, and I'll change the header to be 72%. I'll also change the text below to Mostly Positive. I want the statistic to really stand out, and the supporting text is a little hard to read. So I'm going to again reposition the layout of the text and increase the size until I'm happy with how it looks. Next, I'll add a scatter chart from my previous data analysis that shows the impact of email based on age. I'm going to remove these remaining items to make room for my chart, and you'll notice that when I click on the existing chart, you can actually make charts in Canva by inserting your own data. However, I'm just going to insert an image of a chart that I already created. To insert your own original image, you'll need to upload it to Canva. To do this, click the Uploads button and select Upload Files. Then browse for and select the image that you want to use. I'll click on the image of my chart to add it to my canvas. I'll click and drag the image to position it, and I'll also make it a little bigger. Finally, I want to add some text that summarizes my analysis so that anyone viewing my infographic understands my data story and what I'm trying to communicate. I'll copy and paste the text box from above to use for my summary. And I'll insert my summary text. Now that I've finished adding my content, I'd like to further adjust the sections so the content fits nicely within the background area for each section. And now that the content is nicely positioned, the last thing I'd like to do is change the colors a bit. So I'll select the background and I'll change it to a darker gray. And then I'll select the heading and the footer text and make them both white. Now that my infographic is complete and I'm happy with how it looks, I can share it with others by clicking the Share button and choosing View Only Link. This will allow others to view my graphic on the internet using only this link. I could also choose to download my final design as an image to use on a website or attach to an email. To do this, I would click Share and then Download, and here I can select the file type.